וזימנין דלא have a kiddushin b'odom shenechoshu. And sometimes it's not kiddushin. If it's a man, it's not important. Ubeochi mekayim diuk the reisha. With this mekayim diuk the reisha. What is the diuk of the reisha? No sanu v'omaru. Have a kiddushin. But no snei v'omaru. Have a kiddushin b'odom shenechoshu. And let's summarize. Mishumochi. The Ran summarize. Mishumochi therefore. Lo yidaikinan midi benosnei v'omaru. You know why the Gemara didn't medaik benosnei v'omaru? Because I can mekayim the diukim. I can say that diukim is true. Two different cases. And therefore, that's why the Gemara didn't medaik. Okay, but he brings the Rif and the Rambam. Aval ve'efshar, it could be. Ve'efshar, therefore. Ve'efshar. Shelefikach kosav Rav Alfasi Zal, he says, therefore, the Rif wrote, Ve'chen im nosnoi v'omaru la v'kiddushin. The Rif wrote in a simple way. Nosnoi v'omaru la v'kiddushin. Afa pi shelo uzkar ze b'Gemara, even the Gemara didn't mention this. U'b'odom shenechoshiv koma, not an important person. שכבר כוסה בסומוד, עולם חושב מקודשת, ואף הרמזל, כוסה, פרים חושב מקודשת. So therefore he says, the Rif that says, נוסנו היא ואומרו לה וקידושין ודאי, תאמר אודם שנרחושו, and it's ודאי, הנה מקודשת. So when he pushed the Rif and the Rambam together in this pshat, which means, what will be according to this pshat? What will be benosnei v'omaru? Will be a sofek or be vada in the mekudeshes? Bodom shenechoshu. Vada in the mekudeshes, right? 1 second. What do you mean? Why is that? Because we fulfill up the diuk. We have a diuk of the reisha. No sanu v'omaru have a kiddushin, but nosnei v'omaru lo have a kiddushin. Not a sofek, lo have a kiddushin. Bodom shenechoshu. So it's a vadai. It's not a suffix. Although, if you jump to the end of the next paragraph, aval bala, the last 2 lines, we're going to go through it again, but I just want to mention the other opinion. Aval bala alochos doilozal kosav de benosli v'omaru nami sveika have v'lo niru dvorov. The Bahag is bala alochos doilozal. It's an abbreviation of a name. The book. Bala alachot dolot. Bahag. The Bahag holds one of the biggest Rishonim. But he was a goy. The last 2 lines in the next paragraph, the end of the next paragraph. Aval bal alachot doilo izal kosav. The benos livomaru na misfeik havin. So, how are we going to read? 1 second. So, according to him, so why the Gemara didn't write it? According to the Bahag, that the nosnoi v'omaru is the same suffix of nosanu v'omari. So why the Gemara didn't speak about it? What? In this case, suffix. To put a part of the suffix. Because like psika, it's not a cut story. So because I cut score, so we don't want to mix people. We didn't write it down. But really it's part of the suffix. It's part of the suffix. Really, nosnei v'omaru is the same suffix like nosanu v'omroi. But since nosnei v'omaru is not always part of the suffix, because Adam Choshev is out of it, so we didn't write it. That we're going to do now. Very hard. This Bahag needs a lot of explanation. We're going to have to sweat it out to give an explanation to it. This is my goal today. We'll see if Hashem gives it a bracha.
A man from a woman.
What?
The Kinyan Kiddushin is Kikach Ish Isha. If the man pay and the woman says, then he begins.
L'choira very good, Yecheskel. L'choira the bag is Tzorchim Godel. Why? All the Rishonim attack the bag. the Rosh, the Tisrei HaZoken. We're going to see soon inside, Bezrat Hashem. But you already jumped the gun, so I'm going to say, in Svara is very, very hard. Why? Yesterday we explained the Kikach, but doesn't explain the main kasha. There's two problems with the case of Nosnei V'Omaru. One is that she gave the money, she did the Maisa and the Sinas Kesef, and he has to give the money, not because of Kikach. Let me finish. Kinyan Kesef, who gives money to who? The buyer, forget man and woman. The buyer gives the money to the seller. Who's the buyer? The man. Who says? Maybe she's buying him. Because there's a Kikach. One second. Okay, but we know he's the buyer because there's a Kikach. It's a joke, but it's a very serious answer. We'll see soon. You're not taking my word serious right now because you don't understand what I'm saying till then. But in 1 second. They have equal, each one gives a ring to each other. Everybody gives a ring to each other. That's what they do, because I'm going to. I had a wedding in Tel Aviv, that I formed a wedding, and they're not religious people. They asked me to be the rabbi from Caesarea. They're a very beautiful place, very rich wedding, whole story. I went there, Asher Gold, whatever the story was, his daughter. So I did the wedding. Okay. And then he asked me, they told me that they want to be in a position that she also gives him a ring. Okay, no problem. No problem. The minute I did the brachas when he gave her the ring, and before or after, you can give her any ring you want, 20 rings. Nothing. And their head was happy. A rabbi agreed. An Orthodox rabbi agreed. I said, okay. But that's in their head. It was so choshev to them. They didn't really cap what's going on. To the level, they go so far out, to the level in America they have transgenders and all, men and women is all the same, and they can play games. Trump was against that. He was trying to fight all this craziness. But it comes from, as my father says, unsatisfied women, sharp tongues, big mouths, that they're not satisfied and they always want to be equally because they're not getting what they need. If they get what they need, they'll be satisfied. They will be very happy in the position, the natural position of receiving, not giving, and not equal. It's a problem in the essence because they're not living a proper balance, proper Jewish, not Jewish, even the nature process, natural process of life. Really, the Rebbe used to speak 1,000 times about it. Yes, Jonathan. Oh, because the Geoini was doing the Kabbalah, yes. Okay, but we have to give an answer. Not stop doing Kabbalah. And then we have to give explanation. Here we're learning Iyun, not Kabbalah here. Okay, good. That's a good. So there's two problems with the Bahag. Let me finish. I started and I finished. I went on the side point. There's two problems in the Bahag. When she gives and he speaks, Lichoiro is not the same subject when he gives and she speaks. Because when he gives, there is a Maise Kicha, not Maise Kicha. There's a Maise Nesinas Kesef, Nesina of Kesef, Kingdom Kesef, from the husband to the wife. Kicha of Kesef. And there's also what? I do agree to that, but it won't solve me. What I said yesterday, there's an answer. This is what I want to add today. I want to give a solution for it. I learned from the language, also the language of the Tisrei HaZoken. When Tisrei HaZoken brings the Bahag, he attacks. The Rosh, everybody attacks the Bahag. What is their main kasha? So their kasha is, when the Torah says Nesina, he needs to give to her. So, 1 second, they say Ikar ki Ikar. Ikar Nesinas ki Ikar is the husband to the wife. And if she gave, you're missing the Ikar. This is the language of the Tisrei Rosh. And the Bahag use a language, if you look inside, not the Bahag. Tisrei HaZoken, look at Tisrei HaZoken, in our page below. Our page below, it's 2 lines of the big lines. In the Tisrei HaZoken. Ve'eicha denosno hi akesef, omaru hara mekudeshes li, lo uskar b'gemore beviur vadai, beviur, vadai lav mekudeshes klal. Why? The ba'inan shikach ve'yitem kesef. He says if she gave the money and he spoke, it's for sure not Mekudeshes. Why? Because we need for him to take and give money. He says two factors: to take and give the money. When she gives, you're losing two things, not only one thing. Not losing also kikar. He can say, okay, he started the kikar, he finished, he dominated, he can answer kikar. That's how we did yesterday. That's how I bypassed the kikar. But I'm not bypassing the major problem of Vit and Kesef. Who needs, one second, who needs to give the Kesef? The buyer gives to the seller the Kesef. Here, the woman gave her the Kesef. You see Odom Choshu in ways that you turn it around, okay. But if you don't turn it around, Odom Shenu Choshu, and she gave the money, we have two chesroinas here. We have a problem Kiikar, and we have a problem of Nesinas Kesef, that the koine received money from the seller. It's opposite. So the buyer should give the seller the money, and not the seller, which is the woman selling a body. She's giving the buyer the money. Doesn't make sense. So it's two chesroinos. It's a very hard. And he says, and he says, v'chen kosvu ari v'arambam, v'chen nire me'aloch. He holds that's the truth. But his kashas are two kashas. We have a chisoron of yikach, the ba'inan sheyikach v'iten hakesef. So now let's read the Ran inside. Let's go back to the Ran, and we'll try to give an answer to the Baal Malach. Good. So who gives? Good. Very good. Very good. So very good, Rav Chaim. Very good. But who needs to give the money? The coin. One second. Let's read the first Mishnah. Aisha Niknis. Let me finish. The woman is the buyer or the woman is the seller? The Mishnah, the words of the Mishnah. Aisha Niknis. What does Niknis mean? She's being bought. Bought. Yes. Open dictionary. Open Jet GPT. What? Again? Right. It's the airflow. It's buying. So the Chaim Alevi said, it's not only buying, it's also kikar. But to say, forget about buying, only kikar, then definitely nobody said.
The mitzvah, when you much to the mitzvah, said it's total relation to not buying.
The meeting, right. Good, very good. I agree to that. That's my answer. That's my answer to that. But it's a very big chiddush. Nobody before I said it, nobody before the Meiri and the Rizwan, which I brought down, said it before. Nobody said, not the Birkas Shmuel, they said that you erase that the woman is not the niknis, and is only the niknis mitzat kicha. But if you have somehow I solved the coin of the nikne mitzat the kicha, even though she gives the money, it's not a problem. It's a very big chiddush. The Bahagia says it. I wouldn't say that ever. Unless I say, like very good Reb Chaim said, unless I said, like the Meiri and the Ritva we mentioned at the beginning of this month, that he said that the whole point of Kiddushin is really a relationship between a husband and wife. And the woman really is also part of the contract. It's a partnership. But the way the Torah dominated this partnership, and the natural way that she's the receiver and he's the taker. And in order that we're proper, healthy, holy, pure, right. But really, in the relationship of it, they both are partners. This is the issues. The issues, what's the issues? It's a relationship. So in order for the woman that she cannot make vows, and the woman cannot go to another man, and there's a control, there's a lock to the relationship, but it's a relationship between husband and wife. We mentioned we learned it in length. So that we're going to come out to a very big chiddush, which I rather not say that unless I'm locked into it. If I find any other way, I'll explain another way to answer the Mabag in a second. I wouldn't say that. But before I'm giving my answers, I want to see the Ran till then. Yes. 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 Yes.
Sefer, לא סביב העמים, קדימה, ידע בדיוק כנראה, שהוא דיוק כנראה ספר.
Yes.
כמו עושה, מתקיף לך פופו, Wait a second, so Steve.
Yes.
Comes the Bahag.
What is the one that asked this question? Yes, Matzalavo, yes, good, man.
So Bahag learned, it stays with a suffix. Amen. It's so made it
Koyach. But what is the suffix? You just explained the structure, We knew that, but what's a suffix? Vadayin Mekudesh is not a suffix. Like the Rif and the Rambam says, Vadayin Mekudesh is, and the Rif, and the Rosh, everybody says, Rif, Rambam, Rosh, everybody's against a Svara. You have to give and take. And she gave and took. Why not? Why not? Why?
Because of the suffix is.
Why?
That
what? Yes. Yeah. Why? Why does it? Where's the etzem? Where's the etzem? If she gave the money, who gives the money? The nikno the koine. Who gives money? The nikno the koine. Who gives the money? The nikno the koine. Who? The koine. Who she gave the money? It's no good. Not in your name. Not the Yukim. That's not true. Aisha niknes. You want to make Isha koine? Rabbi, you made a new chiddush. Aisha koine. The woman was koine. She gave money. According to the side, I'm talking about now, answer me. According to the side, the suffix means there's two sides. According to the side, when she gives and he speaks is okay. So now, Aisha koina? Aisha koina? You have a new Mishnah. Aisha niknis or Aisha koina? I can write Aisha koina. She can koina, she can give the money and he speaks. Yes.
What the side yes, what the side no.
That's what we want to, this is what we want to find out. Want to find out what Pshat the Bahag. What's the suffix here? All the Rishonim shout, because there's no kicha, there's no kicha, no nesinas kesed.
Yeah. She makes it. That's don't be like
He spoke. He spoke. She gave. What's the case of flavor? She gave and he spoke.
He gave
and he spoke. Yes.
No, he gave. She gave and he took. He gave and she took. He gave and she took.
No, that's not our suffix here.
No,
no, that's not the case. The case is nos nohi vomahu. What will be the case nos nohi vomahu? Is part of the suffix or not? The Bach says there's something don't see here. Question is why. Okay. Before we give an answer, before we give a final answer, let's see the Ram. אבל עדיין יש לשאול. I'm continuing on the Ram. אבל עדיין יש לשאול. I'm reading the Ram. אבל עדיין יש לשאול. ואף על גב תעמדין דלקה למפרח מרישה הספר. Even though we said you cannot ask a steer from Reisha the Sefer, but Nosnoiv Homaru, when she gave and he spoke, Mishum Diki Lishinuye, we can answer like we answered. Akati still. Cave and the Maskin and Tana the Braisa, Nokat Gavna the Pshitele, the Shovik Sveka, since the Tana wrote the simple laws, but the down he left alone. He only wrote the simple. He gave and he spoke. She gave and she spoke. That's for sure. And he left the middle cases. So he says, Minol, if that's the case, that the Tana took about the Pshitele, the Shovik, he left alone. Sveika, Minol, how do we know that if she gave and he spoke, Pshitele Dolav Kiddushin. How do we know it's Vanai, not Kiddushin? Maybe also when she gave a D-Day, when she gave and he spoke, also there's a suffix. The Ran is asking, how do we know from the text? He's not asking Misvah. From the text, the same way we would like, she gave and he spoke, then it's a middle case, we don't know. cases, he gave and she spoke to her giving and him speaking. Why? What? It's middle cases. Because each one did half. Each one is half. Each one is half. I'm not giving first preference, more preference than giving more than speaking. He did the half and she did the half. What's the difference? Which half? I'm answering you. What? I can't hear two. Yeah, and in the form, he did half, she did half. What's the difference? We swap the other half. It's half and half. Not truly, because the first half is much more important. The first half is the Maisa Kinyan. The first half is the Kicha, is the Iker Kicha. Like the Tesis Gazokin, and the Rosh says Iker Kicha, etc., etc. But Yetteran is asking, let's swap it. But everything's a suffix. See, he answers. Let's see what's his answer. Iker Ameima. There is to say. Eloidomi. They're not similar. The Bishlem and Nosanu Vomoni. It makes sense when he gives and she spoke. He sits in the moment, the time of the giving she spoke. And he was silent. It was like he's greeting to her words. Same way if he gives and he spoke, how do we know she agreed? Veshoska, she was silent. Veshoska, she signed the shtika di dokoido. The Gemara of Yud Beis Amud Beis says, shtika lachamas moed. The Gemara is all silent. If somebody's silent after he gave the money, let's say the money was a pikodoin, and afterwards say, I want to use it for kiddushi. So the Gemara has a shaila shtika lachamas moed is a shtika or not. But that's there was any matan moed. It was a gift. It was a gift, a pikodoin. And then I said kiddushin. So silent doesn't prove. But when Shas Nesina, he gives and he speaks and she's silent, everybody agrees, like Zagan explains there, everybody agrees that it's considered shtika b'sh'as matan moed. It's definitely shtika. So the same thing is here. When he gives and she speaks, at the moment of giving, and he's silent when she's giving, so therefore it's called shtika b'sh'as matan moed. Doesn't even mean the woman and the man and the woman is all the same. So Mimele, the Kanami came out through Shoisim, Bishas Nesina, since he's silent at the time of Nesina, not La'acha Matan Moes. Bishas Matan Moes, Yeshloim Shumaskino, he can say that he agrees to all words. The Afal Pin, even though Shaloi Piresh, even though he'll explain himself, only she clarified. Avale Kemedaberim, Alis Kiddushim, as like he spoke in the business of Kiddushin. Venosla Kiddushim, he spoke about Kiddushin, and he gave. The moment when he gave, he didn't explain. The Kama Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yossi says enough if I spoke before. So once if I spoke before, or there was a speaking about it at the moment through her, but he heard at the moment he giving, she's speaking, it was silent, so he'd be part of it, even though he can say it's a problem. Kicha, because he's the one that needs to megale. Okay, but he says, what the hell is fighting here? Although when he gives, there's a Maiseki and Kichav Kes, there's a Maiseki and Kesef. He buys Aish Koine, the man is Koine the woman, he gave him Maiseki and Kesef. What? When she speaks, he gave her, so he gave the money, did the Maiseki and Kesef. No problem, where's the Kich? He didn't take. No, it's like Medaberimo. Same way with Medaberimo, we know. So the dibur is to clarify, legalos, as the Ran says. So the Ran Rabban, legalos ala ma'aseh nesinas kesef. The kinyan kesef, he did dibur to megalo what the nesina went for. So although what? It's not a real dibur. It's a gilui. So the gilui has to come through him, right? But since she didn't speak later on, she spoke in the time of the ma'aseh nesina, and he can pull it back. And he's not, and he's silent, so his decision to be silent when she speaks at the time he's giving is him making her revelation to become a revelation. It's really him. So therefore, it's a ki'ikach and a sina. I can't hear two people in one shot. What? Yes. You want to say, Rabbi? She says, "Areini mikudeshes lecho benesina zu." No, they need to be married forever and have happiness. I get. Let them be married. Kudeshes, and let's stay married to 120. No get. Ilkach, no get. No. We saying why nos nohi. Right. Right.
יש קידושים אז.
Right. True. What? Yes.
להקשיב לו, להבין. ממילא להקשיב לו למעשה, להבין.
Yeah.
God says,
Yes.
when he's quiet, is all you do it.
Right.
Do it.
Stika di doze stika di deska. Yes. Yes.
Like who's talking?
Husband. Yes. So it's a mice and a sina and kicha. Once we didn't finish. The ilkach therefore ikel meima. I'm continue on. Ilkach therefore ikel meima is possible to say. He says, why is a sign? That when he gives and she speaks, there's a sign that she's mekudeshes, because I can look at it as if he gave and he spoke. Why? Because since in the moment of the giving, the Shas Nesina, she spoke and he was silent, so it's basically coming from him, the Maisa Nesina and the Maisa Kicha, by him a shtika. He can say that. Avol, but when she gave and he spoke, since he's not considered an important person, is not possible to say the Karinan Beik Hikach Klau. I cannot call it Hikach at all. Why? Because when she gives and he spoke, so okay, he gave and he spoke. So what do we say? She's silent and she agreed who she is. She's not the taker. He has to be the taker. So where's the Hikach here? He gave him Isaac. So that's what the Tesis Riazokan says. There's Ba'inam ki ikach v'iten shikach hakesed v'iten hakesed. Yeah, the push of the puzzle. The karin mekik lekele meima the karinan beikikach klal. There's no kikach here at all. And even Tesis Riazokan even says more. And he says, "V'anaylam v'kudeshes klal." The ba'inam shiikach v'iten hakesed. You need him to take and give the money, and she gave the money. So where's the kikach here? Speaking. You speak all you want. Doesn't mean anything. You need to do a maise kinyan. She did the maise kinyan of the sina. And where's the kicha? Kicha is missing. Look at the Teisarosh. 1 second. I want to read. You can give an answer. We'll hear you all today. Bezrat Hashem. Till the end. Bezrat Hashem. Let's see. The Teisas Arosh. The Rosh says. Look at the Rosh. Siman Aleph. Just leave one hand on the ram because we're not finished. One hand on the ram, one hand on the Rosh Siman Aleph, the end of Siman Aleph. And he brings down the pshit is next to the letter Nun of the Korban Asana. There's a letter Nun in the Korban Asana, the end of Siman Aleph, 5 lines before the end of Siman Aleph. The pshit to the Rabbi Seinu Zal. Leforesh. Why it's simple? You know why? It's simple to our rabbis. The Rosh says, when she gives and he speaks as Einem Kodeshes Vanai, why? The main kicha, I know which means Nesina Sakesem, the giving of the money. The main kicha is what? Is giving of the money. And that I need the man. It's very strange. He doesn't have a problem with the Maise, like the thesis Riazokin, that the Maise Kinyan is a coin in the makne. That's you hear Rabbi Simcha. I said it's a joke, and I said you don't understand the depths what I meant. I said who says that you need the Maise Kinyan? Who says that he is the coin and she's the nikness? Kinyan Kesef, you have a seller and you have a buyer. Who says that he's the seller, he's the buyer, and she's the seller? But from the Kika. It's not because he's a Maisekinyan and let's see, because there's a relationship. Really, both sides giving each other. There's no buy and sell here, but because of the Kika. Kika means make with the Kinyan. It seems look at the language of the Rosh. The main Kicha is giving of the money. How do you take? The main taking is what? Maise Kinyan of Kesef. Upainon, yes, it's wrong. Upainon Kikachish. And the Kicha, which is the main Kicha, is in the Sekinas HaKesef. We need the man to do it. Because it says Kikach is a man. It's a male language, not a female. What? Ika. The people, you say. 1 second. So what we have here, back again, we have here Teisasir Azokim, Rosh, Ran, all of them are saying, we saw also the Ran in the name of the Ramban, all of them are saying that Ikar Kicha is in the Sinas HaKesef. The Teisasir Azokim use a stronger language. He says you need to give the money and Kicha. You need Kicha and giving of the money, which means Maise Kinyan of Kesef, he understands the husband is taking the woman. He's the buyer and she's the seller. So he needs to give the money, plus he needs to do the Kicha. Like we always learn the Bikah Shmuel. There's 2 layers. There's a layer of a Maise Kinyan that he's the buyer and she's the seller. And there's another layer of Kikach. Now we say a little bit different. We say, in the Rosh, we said, the first layer of that he needs to buy, the buyer needs to give the money, and and he has to have das and chalois kinyan kesef. It's a result of the kicha, because who's the buyer is the seller. Since the kicha is on him, kicha is true, maise kinyan kesef, and he has to do the kinyan kicha. So we have to have 2 layers of it. But the first layer of the Maise Kinyan of Kesef, that he's the buyer and the seller, is a result of the translation of Kiikach. It's a svara, because maybe she's the koyach, she's the taking, he's the buyer, and he's the seller. Who's taking who? Ad kedei kach that the koyach are mixed up. And the koyach says, who's taking who? Let's both give a ring. Yes, Rabbi. Yes. Yes. Yes.
See, Amira can make it that you gave it.
I understand that. I understand that. Now let's 1 second. Wait. Yes. I tell you why. Because okay, so we 1 second. What we gain now is the first step of the answer. That who's the buyer is the result of the kikach. The only problem is, once I have kikach, so I have 2 layers. I have the Maisikin that has to come through him, and I have the kikach has to come through him. When she gave the money, it's not the Maisikin of Kesef. The seller's giving the money, the buyer has to give the money. Yes, he's not taking. Although as a result of the other, still, she did the Maisikin of Kinyan Kesef, and he also and she also and also he didn't do Kika. None of the layers, Ika Maisikin, not there. So how the banana let's finish the bar. Aval bar alochos doilos kosa, the benos lo I v'omaru nami seikave v'lo nira dvorom. He holds that nos lo hi v'omaru it's also sofik. Nami also sofik, which means equal. Like he said, that what makes her the seller and he's the buyer is because of the kikach. And once And really, there's two parts of the Ikach. There's the giving of the money. That's one act to show Kikach. Email is also the Maisekin. And the Dibur is also another part of the act of Kikach. If she gives and he spoke, so he basically dominated what's the giving for. There's a side to say that I Mekayim, that's also Rashi like this. When Mekayim, when Nosloim Mekayim Kikach, look to the Rashi now assume. Rashi says, Nosanu, Domi Kirish, Tomi. Why is Tomi? You become a Tomi, not Tomi. Not Tomi. You're Tomi. Where's the demon? Where's the demon? Rashi says, if he goes, so then it's similar to he took. If she spoke, it's similar that she took, according to the gifts of the Marshal. It's not true. Dibur is only a gilui. Dibur, it's only a gilui to the reality. So he did the reality and she spoke. It's nothing. It's just no. What? So 1 second. I agree. But we see from in our sugya, no sanu v'mohi. One dash pishi, wait, the Fremud base. No sanu v'mohi, the middle of the page. The first Rashi in the sugya. I mean, not the first Rashi, but no sanu domilichi kachish. Omoi domilichi tikachish olish. I raise letilokach, letikach. Okay? Letikach, she's taking him. What do you mean? Hebrew was only explanation of the Maise. 1 second. We see from Rashi that there's two parts here. There's the Maise. I don't say like the Ramban in the Ran that the Iker is the Maise and the Sinas Kesef. And the Hebrew is just a Gilui and then a Sina. If it's only a Gilui, why Omori is not Mikitika? It's only in the Gilui. But the Iker he did. So if we see from Rashi, that Rashi understands that there's two parts. One part is the Maise. In the Kiyikach, I have two parts, and I think that's the depths of the Birkash world. Right. So I understand. This is we're shaking. I understand. So because of this bag, we want to shake the barrel. And we understood that all the time before we came here. We understood when we learned the Birkash world 7 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. We learned this many times, right? We always thought that there's two layers. There's a simple layer before the Birkash world came, is Maisekin Kesef, right? Maisekin Kesef, who the buyer gives the seller the money. So who's the buyer? The husband. And who's the seller? Is the woman. The husband is to give the woman. And which das of Chalois Kinyan you have to have? Chalois Kinyan of Kinyan Kesef. Comes the Birkash and says, no, there's another layer. There's another layer that you have to have das of Chalois of Kicha. And Kicha has different dinim. Kicha cannot be Chalipin. Kicha cannot be Lesa Shomeputo. Kicha, there's a lot of dinim. Kicha, he needs to do the Kicha, has to come through him. He has to be initiator. And she spoke and he said, Cain, according to the Rosh, is not enough, right? Omar Hain. It has to be totally him in the world of Kinyonim, which is enough, which means there's another special laws, extra hummus in Kiddushin that is called Kicha. And you have to have Chaloy in your mind, Chalois Kicha. Okay? This is the whole Birkash Shmuel until 2025. Now we're coming with the Bahag. Bahag shakes the barrel. And also Medaik in the Lashon of the Rosh. Seems to be that the first layer of the Maise Kinyan Kesef, with the normal Chalois of Kinyonim, of Kol HaTorah Kula, it's really a result of the explanation of the words Kiikach, that Ba'ish, Kiikach Ish. Others, I would say, the woman is the Kiikach. Who says the man is Kiikach? Which means before I came to this Rosh and this Bahag, I would say, common sense, the husband is the buyer and the woman is the seller. And mitzad kinyan kesef and the chalois and the das of chalois of kunyonim of kol Torah kula, there's nothing to do with Masechet Kiddushin, it's to do with kinyan kesef. And I know naturally misvora, that the husband is the buyer, the woman is the seller. Right? Comes the Birkash Shmuel, The big chidushim and the sugi of chalipim. So we know that if she spoke and he said, hey, and even the Rosh is no good, and all those rivoshi brought down all those chidushim, right? The big chidushim is that there's another layer, and that layer of kicha has dinim. Doesn't show natural svara, right? Now we're saying no. The natural svara, that's what Reb Chaim said to me. The ritva is really the meiri, but it doesn't matter. It means the rishonim we looked at the meiri of the Masechet. That we saw is not so simple, because marriage is a relationship. They're partners. And we brought rayas of the Rambam and Raven that they needed partners. Exactly. What makes him to be the buyer and she's the seller, the tzura of he's the buyer and the seller, is only because the Torah defined ki ikach, that he's ikach ish, that he's taking. That's the language of the Rosh. So it's ikach nesinas hakese, ikach. I'm reading the language of the Rosh again. The Rosh says like this. Again, ikach kicha, he says like this. Mishum de ikach kicha, ainu sinas hakesef, ubayni kikach ish. The kicha is giving of the money. The ikach is giving of the money, and we need the man to do it. So it seems to be, why do we say that that giving of the money is him and not her? It's only because of the pasuk kikach. Although I would say maybe the woman, or both. Right? Like Shutrim, who's doing who? So therefore now we come into a whole new world here. We said when the Birkas Shmulo, we said that we have a natural svara of kinyan kesef and chalois of kerim kolatora kulo. It's not common sense. You need the kiikach to tell you that is on the man. So because of this kiikach, the kiikach ish. No, but when partners make a contract, you have to tell me who's the leader, who's as if the leader, the buyer and the seller, which really are partners. But the Torah wants it that he's going to be on top and she's below, and he's the buyer and she's the seller. As the Amiri explained for all the reasoning, because she will run away, she will make an adorim, she will give a body, whatever the Amiri said in the beginning when we have to read the Amiri again. We look inside. So all those svaras we said, so without the Torah, I wouldn't know who. We brought the Rambam. The Rambam says that after they get married, if the woman broke a cup, she's exempt. Exempt. Why? When a woman breaks at home a cup, she breaks something glass. She's exempt. Why? Because they are partners, and because they are partners, they have dinim of shoimrim and bailavimo, shoim sochor and bailavimo, and she's exempt. The Rambam we swear. The Rambam. We brought a lot of proof. The Meiri and the Rambam and Ivan. That really they're partners. They're partners. You and your wife are partners for life. That's what the Goyim Mebulbo who's giving who. But the Torah says no, that Surah has to be that he's the leader, he's the giver. Right? You understand? They think I'm the balabain, I'm the boss. I'm putting my foot down. Foot down. Okay, get down, your foot will stay down. Now, so let's go back here. So if the Torah has to tell me that, so then I can understand the bag better. I can say in the case, like Reb Shlomo said, the case where she gives, and he spoke, and he when he speaks, he dominates. What is he giving for? There's a side to say that domi likikach. It's domi likikach. There's a side to say. It's a suffix. Maybe it's the domi likikach because as long as he spoke and he dominates, explain what is it about. It's the same way if he gave and she spoke. If she gave his words, as it's domi. Both of them have a side that the domi likikach, the man is the taker. Time of giving has to be time. Otherwise, it's nothing. Time of giving means you're dominating the giving what's for. So since the husband is the one that dominates what's for, you can mekayim kika. There's a side to say mekayim kika. Okay. Abi Chananya ta'ilai lalai 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 lalai. Yes. What do you want to say about it? Yes. Mafkir. And she has to mafki herself. Yes, I know this one, yes. Could be. We're gonna deal with that. Yes, yes, I know this, I know.
It's a kid. But the Rishon says that
It's a big kid.
that because
I won't say it unless I'm forced on the Bahar. I won't say that.
the Bab says that he can. The Bab said that she can
Yes,
give the money.
right.
The Bab said that he can give the money. The Bab said that she can give the money. That it's every
The
month
suffix,
the money.
we don't ice this time, she's
But
requesting.
who said that it is for that reason? Maybe it's because it's considered like he's giving because they are not.
That's, okay, that's another, that's one of the Rabbonim, what's about, I shall prove it is actually possible.